Hey there, Heather Boyd here, and welcome to day 9 of the 10-day Right Brain Art Challenge. In today's challenge, we're going to be exploring a technique called frottage. So frottage is basically the French word for rubbing, and a lot of us used to do this when we were in primary school. We'd run around with a paper, rubbing with our pencil over different textures, and it's a really fun art activity. The Frotage technique for art production was developed by Max Ernst in around 1925. He was a member of the Surrealist painters movement. Apparently he was inspired by wooden floor planks, and he saw images within the floor planks, and he captured these images by laying sheets of paper on the floor and rubbing them with a soft pencil. So you can do the same with different media and different textured items. You can use a variety of items for this project. You can use coins, cheesecloth, fabric, doilies, leaves, wood, countertops, old bottles, corrugated cardboard, bubble wrap, cheese graters, feathers, screens, chicken wire, regular wire, crochet, picture frames, rulers, dried paint palettes, crunched up paper, floor tiles, books, bricks. The sky is the limit. The items you can rub with are, of course, pencils. These are soft pencils. I have 2B, 5B, and 8B. This is a graphite stick. You can use Conte or charcoal. This is chalk and crayons. You can even use transparent wax candles, and then you can, after the fact, even color them with tints of watercolor or ink. Here's a couple of fun things I made quite a few months ago. I follow a wonderful YouTube channel called Art Prof, and one of their monthly challenges was to make art cubes. So these were actually, I brought paper out into the village, and I was rubbing the wood panels and stones and all kinds of things with graphite stick. After that, I just brought home the papers and I cut them out and I tinted them a little bit, and I built these little squares. So there's lots of things you can do with the textures after you've created them, including making collages as well. So let's experiment with some frottage. So I'm just going to use computer paper, and I'll just start by doing a few little pieces. You could even do a bunch of little pieces and make a sampler, put them all out on a board for reference. Lots of things you can do. So here's just a regular paper doily from the dollar store. And then we're going to experiment with what kind of textures you get when you rub them. So sometimes you have to push a little harder. This is a very soft pencil, so you see it's gotten quite dark. So this is the 8B. Now let's try it with the 2B to see if it makes any difference. So the 2B is a little lighter. You don't get as dark an image on there, and it makes an interesting effect as well. It's pretty subtle. You don't see a lot of the details, but it's interesting to experiment with. And then let's go ahead and try some cheesecloth. So we're going to take the cheesecloth, and you can layer it up or you can separate it a little bit. It's good to try different ways. So if I just put it on like that and stick it on the side there, we're just going to go across and see what kind of textures we get. So we go here, and already you can see some pretty cool textures happening there. Very interesting. This is some lace. It's a little thicker than the doily, so let's put that one on there, and we're going to try it. And we can even try it with the crayon and see what it does. We're going to bring that one on there. And it makes a pretty interesting pattern. We're just going to go through there, so you can definitely see the pattern. You have to experiment with the pressure that you put on your drawing tool, because you don't want the pattern to get lost, but you do want it to show up. So that shows a little bit, and let's compare it if we do it with the graphite. So we're going to bring it over here, and we're going to put the graphite and go on there. So the graphite works really well. I think it works better than the pencil. and you get to rub with the wide side of the graphite stick. This you can get in any art store. And then the harder you push, the more you're going to get different definitions. So that's super cool. And then let's try the coin. So we're going to put the coin on there. You know it's a Canadian coin because there's a beaver on there. And I'm going to get my 2B pencil again. You could use a HB if you want. And we're just going to rub it across. It's a little dark again. You don't see a whole lot, so let's try it with the crayon to compare it. Yeah, this is going to be a real exercise in exploring, you know, what each medium does and how it looks. So it looks pretty good there too. So you don't get a lot of definition, but it's definitely interesting. We could try other things. I've got bubble wrap. I don't know what that's going to do, but we can definitely try it. So we'll get this one. I think this one's a little bit, I find this one a little dark. This is the 5B. So let's stick with the 2B for now to see what it does. Yeah, this doesn't get a lot of definition either. If your texture is too soft, you're maybe not going to pick up too much. So we're going to go push that one in there. Yeah, the graphite stick works a little better, but it's still a very subtle texture. But it shows up. It's cool. This is a box my friend Patricia made me. This was the alcohol ink that we did with the fire, which was super cool. And this here, it's just a wooden box, and this is done with a crackle medium. And she actually gave me some, so I will be doing a tutorial on how to use the crackle medium soon. Let's just put this on here and try to rub over the crackle medium and see what it does. So yeah, that makes a very, very interesting texture. So it's like you have to make some texture first to make some texture again after. And then let's just get our crayon to compare it. If we put that one on there, it kind of gets lost with the crayon. You don't see it so well. So let's remove that. And then let's try an actual piece of wood. So we'll try the actual piece of wood. I'm going to put this one on here and do it with the graphite stick. And it works really, really well with the graphite stick, as you see. You really get the wood texture there. Okay, let's try the wood with a HB pencil. That's just a regular school pencil, what we all used to use at school. I don't know if it's going to show up too well here. It's pretty good. You can kind of see the texture. Go over here, see how it goes. Yeah, you can still definitely see the texture. Hold your pencil on the side like that, otherwise you're not going to be able to catch those subtleties. So just rub it with the side of your pencil. And like I said, if you have a graphite stick or can get one, it's really good. Like, it really shows up the texture. So this is actually a painting that I did. I never finished it, but what I did was I built up the surface with different textures. So let's try to rub those and see how that looks. So we're just going to put this one on here. Yeah, so that makes some very interesting textures. It's almost like a stone texture. It doesn't look at all like that, but it's very interesting. And then we can bring it up here and try it over here and see how it looks. Yeah, I like that idea of building up textures yourself and then rubbing them. So it's like layers of art. So that's super interesting. And now we're going to try to tear some paper. So what you can do for this is just take a paper and tear it into little pieces, or you can cut them with scissors. So you could just take a blank paper or a piece of cardboard or whatever you want to put it on, and then you can just kind of build these up on the paper. They don't have to make like a specific image or anything. You can just kind of do like an abstract design, or if you want to build it up to actually look like something, you could totally do that too. You're gonna have to experiment first to see how the textures turn out, and then after that, if you want to build up different things, you can. So let's just kind of spread those out. Maybe we'll put like a little piece of the cheesecloth on there as well. It'd be interesting to make like a little tree shape or something. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we can just play around with it and just go in there, play like with that. You could take your time to make sort of a composition and see what happens with it. The other thing you can do is take some leaves. I don't have any dried leaves, but I just got some plastic ones. That's fine. Even if you had some little pieces of wire or something that you wanted to put on there, you can play around with it and see what it's going to do. If you had some longer pieces and you wanted to try to make a form on there, we can try to do like a little heart. I don't know, anything you want to do would be fine. You can just play around with it. You can make a little figure, might be cool. So we're just going to take that and bring it in here and see what it does. So once you're happy with your composition, then you can just take your paper and put it on top, and then choose what you want to rub. I'm going to use the graphite stick. It seems to work well. Tape it down if you think it's going to move, and then just go ahead and do some rubbing on there. Very interesting. I like the wire. It's kind of cool. I think there's a lot you can do with that. I'm going to go over here. Wear gloves if you don't like the graphite. And just, yeah, I really advise getting one of these graphite sticks. They work super well. Bring this down. There's the thicker wire there. I'm definitely going to experiment with doing more like wire pieces and that. You can rub a little more if you want it more defined. I don't know if my cheesecloth tree is going to do much, but that's fine. We're just going to go around like that. And this is a good base. If you want to do something you can paint on, you could do this on very thin watercolor paper and then tape it down after and tint it. That would definitely be a cool project to do too. And then just push harder when you want things more defined. This moved a little bit, so it makes sort of a shadowy effect. That's really, really interesting. So that's cool. So it made an interesting picture, and really the sky's the limit with this. So if you want to try something different and do like a little kitty shape or something, I don't have my tools with me, so I'm just going to play around with this and see what I can do. We're just going to make like a little kitty thing and just bend it back and forth. I think the idea behind this is you don't really want the wires to overlap, or it's not going to make as consistent a rub. So just try to make them so they're pretty flat. Like this, it got a little bit distorted. His legs aren't really a good size, but that's okay. We're just gonna play around with it and see. So we're gonna do like that, and I should have made the tail a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're just gonna leave it like that. So say you just want this to end right at the end here, and rather than have it like overlap, I can just like break it. Like we can just take the kitty, stick it down, try to get it so these wires line up. They're not going to line up perfectly. If I don't have my tools, it's fine. Although sometimes it's better not to use tools. Your pieces can be a little more creative. And then we're just going to take this and close it up. And then we can take our graphite stick and just do a little rubbing like that. Try to define those shapes. That's super cool too. I like that. Something different. If you can tilt your graphite in a little bit to get more details, and then he kind of went double a little bit, but if you tape it, it shouldn't do that, but it kind of looks cool. And then push harder when you want more definition on your textures. So thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to check out the playlist of tutorials in the 10-day Right Brain Art Challenge. Check out all the details for the challenge below. Also join the Discord group or the Facebook event page. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more art videos, tutorials, and demos, and we'll see you the next time.